My name is Moonsout, the internet's busiest video game nerd, and this is LEGO Star Wars: The Complete Saga. I'm sure you all know what it is. This thing needs no introduction at all, as these games define the childhoods of kids from all walks of life. After my last 3 videos ranging from moderately stressful, oh my god, I got it, let's go, to deep diving into the empty void of despair.
Like, what am I stuck on? Why am I constantly being dragged into the wall?
I wanted to kick back, relax, and do something chill for a change. But little did I know, I would spend the most amount of time I have ever spent getting 100% complete on any game so far, right here in LEGO Star Wars, taking me right around 40 hours to get every achievement and everything fully completed. Not many other people have done this. Even in the last 16 years, myself included, only 1.44% of Xbox gamers have the 100% achievement. And I think it's because my gaming skills make me Jango Fett to all these clones. You know, I'm Mace Himdu. These other gamers are constructed in the droid factory on Geonosis. I'm constructed homemade on Tatooine. And also, just to clarify, unlike my last 3 videos, these are achievements. The game does exist on PS3, but it existed before PlayStation Network trophies. Not even Steam has achievements either, so the only way to get any tracked reward is to play this back on the Xbox 360, or, in my case, a 360 emulated on the Xbox One. Ranging from finding and wearing each of the different hats in the game, to having 4 billion studs on hand at once, these achievements can be a bit rough sometimes. Yet for the first time in my life, I actually devised a plan before loading up the game on stream, and that took place right here on YouTube. So while you're at it, this is your moment to subscribe and like the video. Otherwise, I'm turning your organs into Lego bricks and harvesting them for my mini kit collection. That being said, I should mention that I've owned this game since 2018, so when I played it back then, I had finished episode 1, so I have a bit of a head start to the pod race. Back then I got 4 of the 42 achievements. Phantom Menace is simply for finishing that episode. Slam Dunk was another one for defeating 5 enemies with a single Jedi body slam. Droid Slayer was another one for defeating 300 droids. You know, it sounds like a lot, but episode 1 is full of droids, so it makes sense. And finally, Lightsaber Master is for performing 20 unblockable combos. That's signified whenever your attacks make this noise, and they do that little sparkly effect. That's also a pretty easy one, so I don't feel too bad about having these before starting. But for those remaining 38 trophies, here's the summary of the game plan. I have to play each chapter of each episode at minimum 4 times. So I need 1 for story mode, 1 for free play, 1 for the blue mini kits, and then again for super story. And then there's 2 challenge levels per episode, 6 bonus gold brick doors, 20 bounty hunt levels, and then there's all the collectibles and milestones, you know, from regular mini kits, true Jedis, red bricks, and stud purchases in the cantina. Throughout the entirety of my playtime, I'll be going for the achievements related to combat, such as dodging 200 blaster shots or defeating 300 stormtroopers. There's other specifically miscellaneous tasks, like my personal favorite, shattering Jar Jar Binks up to 20 times, or another one like shooting Greedo while playing as Han Solo. There's 2 achievements related to co-op, one of which required me to play online, and given that the game is 16 years old, somehow the servers are still able to run peer-to-peer, thank Jah. So when all things were said and done, I'll be honest, okay? While like 80% of this was super fun and nostalgic, it definitely became a bit of a slog as we pushed into those final hours. But now that I've primed you for the LEGO brickening, let's get on with the proof of completion. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, is up first, where I started getting bricked up. The first chapter is about chasing a bounty hunter through the traffic of Coruscant. The bounty hunter is low in the chain of command, but she attempted to indoctrinate Senator Amidala into the cult of the Worm lore, before getting caught and clapped by Jango Fett. I got the red brick from this level, and it just so happened that this was Stud Magnet. Red bricks give many abilities that some consider to be unnatural, but as long as they don't disable achievements, they're fair game to me for LEGO Star Wars. This extra is super overpowered because it pretty much guarantees that I'll get my studs back when I die for true Jedi purposes, with the exception that when I throw myself off the map, I kind of can't get them back. But I got true Jedi in this chapter 1 as well, and 6 more mini kit canisters. Chapter 2 has Obi-Wan following a lead to Jango's origins on Kamino, where he discovers the clone army. While Jango gets away from the Jedi, he can't outrun Obi-Wan's rocket of an arm. That motherfucker played football in high school, damn. I got true Jedi for this level as well, and 5 whole mini kit canisters. Chapter 3 is Obi-Wan getting ambushed on Geonosis and signaling to Padme and Anakin for help, only to get them all trapped on Geonosis as well. I ended up gathering another red brick called Character Studs. This one is also super overpowered for getting true Jedi. It dictates that anytime you shatter any LEGO character in cold bricks, they drop around 500 studs-ish in return. This adds up immensely over the course of a level, so I got this true Jedi anyway, and I wound up with 6 mini-kit canisters and I got out of there. Chapter 4 is about the members of the CIS putting on a display of power by forcing their political prisoners to compete in the annual gladiatorial games. But Mace Windu and friends drop in to save the day. Jango was defeated, but Count Dooku gets away. During this level, you have to kill a bunch of droids to free the allies, and at one point, I ended up using R2 to stun 5 droidekas, and that gives me an achievement. Harmless? ? For doing exactly that. While fighting Jango, I got one other achievement. Deflecting a total of 200 blasters with my lightsaber gave me Lightsaber Defender. I also got 3 measly mini-kits and a true Jedi to show for the completion. Chapter 5 is the transition into Chapter 6. Easily the worst level in this game. Now is the Geonosis level that I was dreading. You play with the LAAT gunship and experience true pain like you've never experienced before, with towing these bombs through lasers. Oh, give me the bomb. Oh no. I was able to run away with the red brick for explosive blaster shots, which ended up killing me more than it helped me, so I pretty much left it turned off. Also 7 mini-kit canisters in the deck and another true Jedi. The gunship cavalry of clone troopers bring Anakin and Obi-Wan to face down the Count. Rushing in headfirst, Anakin's get his sausages chopped off, but now Yoda can deliver some help. Yet Dooku gets away again, but I made off with the achievement, Attack of the Clones, for finishing this episode. 27 gold bricks on deck, 16.9%, nice, of the game completed, and 7 achievements on brick. We scoot right on over to episode 3. This is where the fun begins. Anakin and Obi-Wan take to the skies of Coruscant after hearing of Palpatine's abduction by Grievous and Dooku. This is a quick vehicle level where I not only got every mini-kit, but also the red brick and true Jedi, something only elite bricked-up gamers can pull off. Chapter 2 has us infiltrate the Separatist flagship where Grievous is able to get away, but Anakin, now with long hair and a wife, he turns Dooku into bacon as payback for cutting off his sausages. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and the Chancellor make it off ship, while I make 6 mini-kits and take home true Jedi as a prize. Chapter 3 has Obi-Wan and Commander Cody chase down General Grievous to Utapau, but because this level was actually developed before the movie was even done being made, something's a little bit different with this one.
Hello there.
General Kenobi.
Regardless, Grievous gets his bricks clapped by gunfire once again, and I take home true Jedi and 5 mini-kit pieces. Chapter 4 is where we earn our only achievement in the entirety of Episode 3. It happens while Yoda and Chewbacca are trying to escape the beginnings of Order 66. I used Chewbacca to pull off 25 arms of the troopers in the area, and that gave me Let the Wookiee Win as an achievement. Yoda is able to skedaddle back to Coruscant where he links back up with Obi-Wan Kenobi as I try to figure out what the heck is going on in the Revenge of the Sith deleted scene, and is Chapter 5. Obi-Wan and Yoda investigate the fall of the Jedi, only to find out it was caused by one of their own, the Chosen One, who was meant to destroy the Sith, not join them. Despite my best efforts, I was only able to recover 2 mini-kits and I got true Jedi as usual. The finale of Episode 3 has Obi-Wan face down Darth Vader, but not before they work together to escape the Separatist facility being swallowed whole by the surface of the lava world Mustafar. Vader loses his Lego legs and becomes permanently scarred because he got too much dip on his chip, and by dip I mean lava and by chip I mean his upper body. Finishing the level gave me Revenge of the Sith, the achievement, and I also got all but one of the mini-kits in the level, and got true Jedi like always. That brings us to 40 total in gold bricks, 9 of the 42 achievements, and 24.1% of the game completed. That also wraps up what would be the first LEGO video game if it were the standalone version, and that takes us to LEGO Star Wars 2, the original trilogy. LEGO Star Wars 2 has always had longer and more complex levels, longer cutscenes, and it utilized secrets and branching pathways a lot more in Freeplay than the first game. But this also means it'll take longer on average to beat the next 3 episodes than the first 3. So let's get a move on to finish our silly little tasks. Episode 4, in my opinion, has some of the worst story mode levels, especially Chapter 2. But if I learned anything from these LEGO games, you can't build the structure without having enough bricks first. So Chapter 1 leads off with Leia trying to escape the Tantive 4 with the Death Star plans. She realizes she can't outmaneuver her father, but she can pass the plans on to R2 and send them down to Tatooine. I got my silly little True Jedi requirement, but also got 0 mini-kits. Really gotta try to get that milestone. Chapter 2 shows us Luke dropping bands at the Jawa garage sale. He picked up 3PO and R2, and then the Jawas hired the Payday Gang to snatch them back.
Get the bags in the van, guys.
Hey, let's knock this out.
So, using the help of this Jedi, Benny Kenny, he gets R2 and 3PO back, where they reveal that they have a message from Leia about the Death Star and the workings of the Empire. It's definitely my least favorite non-vehicle level. Stealing back the droids and some studs gave me yet another True Jedi. I nabbed 4 mini-kits in the Jawa junk truck and moved on. Chapter 3 is all about the gang finding a ship to get off-world in the Mos Eisley spaceport. We smuggled the droid pair into the area, but then found a way to sell my speeder off for some studs after I Skyrim my way into a secret area. This gave me an achievement called Cash In. I'm a pro gamer. Pro gamer move. First of all, do the speedrunning tech, and then we jump down over here into the double score zone. Why are you walking so slow? Amazing. I'm literally the best ever. We took our brokered bread and we linked up with Han Solo, who claps bounty hunters for fun, and Chewbacca, who can't speak English but is based. They took us away on the Millennium Falcon and then gave us True Jedi, with Super Lightsabers Red Brick, and 3 mini-kits and a dream. Chapter 4 has us between a brick and a hard place as we accidentally get tractor beamed into the Death Star. Han Solo and the gang sneak aboard with stormtrooper get-ups to find Leia. She's been held prisoner and we pull some levers to free the princess. Got True Jedi once again, but only 1 single mini-kit. Chapter 5 is all about getting off the Death Star, but it's also Obi-Wan's final duel with Darth Vader. I fought so many stormtroopers, 300 of them to be exact, allowed me to get another 20 gamer score with Stormtrooper Slayer. Still made it out with True Jedi and 4 mini-kits, did not make it out with Ben Kenobi. The final chapter of episode 4 has us blow up the Death Star with Luke Skywalker in the cockpit of an X-Wing. The genius engineers of the Death Star constructed a weak point built right into the foundation. Flying through the trenches, I sank a torpedo into the hole like it was your mom, thus exploding the planet killer once and for all. Until they made another one. The completion popped the New Hope achievement at the end. That's a total of 12 achievements, 30 more of those left, 52 gold bricks, 108 of those left, and 31.6% of the content completed. It is now time for The Empire Strikes Back Chapter 1. The Empire set their sights on striking back after the rebels got some hope from A New Hope, so in order to strike back, they strike on the planet Hoth, where rebels attempt to mount a valiant defense against the Empire's striking back. Jumping in snowspeeders, you've got to at least slow down the assault on the base by destroying some AT-STs, AT-ATs, and hella drones. I did the usual by getting my True Jedi stud count, and I got as many mini-kits as I could, counting up to 4 for this run. Chapter 2 focuses on Leia, Han, 3PO, and Chewbacca. They've got to ditch the snow planet after speeders tried their best to delay, yet the shield generator for Hoth still went down. 3PO got me pissed at this point for sure.
Stop falling off, you dick.
But then they run away in the Falcon, bringing in another True Jedi and some mini-kits. Chapter 3 is the second vehicle level already, and fortunately it saved itself by allowing me to get the only achievement in episode 5. This was for destroying 50 TIE fighters across the save file. That's Fighter Ace. And you know I got True Jedi once more, and 6 mini-kits bricked in. Then, Chapter 4 is where you go to Florida for the first time. Luke and R2 meet the Florida man in his wooden hut, and he teaches him the mystic wizardry of the arcane magic of spatial manipulation, and reaching the end of the Tampa, Florida simulation, we used the Force to collect every stud I could could to get true Jedi, and exactly one single mini-kit. Chapter 5 is after number 4, and this is where Luke tries to confront Vader one-on-one. Despite deleting all of his hearts in classic video game fashion, I lose because I triggered the cutscene, and then shockingly, I did actually get true Jedi this time. And by shocking, I mean not shocking at all. Half of the mini-kits acquired, and also Luke Skywalker confirmed Blady fan by sliding down the drain pipe.
I'm Blade, she call me Blade. Angel or demon, maybe. I'm trying to what I.
The final chapter in episode 5 is about the Empire rounding off the strike they struck. They set up a trap with Boba Fett and troopers and Vader to game in Leia, Han, and Chewbacca, and the friendly droids. Fortunately, after Han is frozen, Lando is able to bail out the gang and let them reach the Falcon so they can get Luke off the antenna. We got an achievement for ending The Empire Strikes Back for a total of 14. With the True Jedi we now have 64 total gold bricks, and 38.6% of the game done now. Just one episode left to summarize, and then we can speed run the rest of the achievements. Speaking of, episode 6 is the return of the Jedi, particularly a couple Jedi, mostly Luke and the redemption of Anakin. The segment opens with R2 and 3PO getting clapped up trying to find Han Solo. Then Leia and Chewbacca gotta run in and save them and Han, who was captured by the Hutts and their legion of bounty hunters. Tatooine was the perfect vacation spot for him, and there's no time like the middle of the day to infiltrate the function. I literally built the first thing to open the door, and that gave me Lego Buildmaster for constructing 100 objects on this save file. And then after I figure out how to finally open the door, I hopped on one of these weird spider droid things that are rideable, and I got another achievement for riding all the different mounts in the game. That's called Yeehaw. In the end, we got Han unfrozen, but we were set up. Everyone, including Luke, is dumped into a pit where we take care of a Rancor, but we're still in trouble for taking down Jabba's pet. And then, in Chapter 2 of Season 6, right as everyone is about to be executed and Leia is literally enslaved, we use the power of Uno Reverse card to literally execute everyone else instead, including Boba Fett, who became sliced ham for a Sarlacc, spelled with 2 C's. Got true Jedi in both levels as usual. Now it's time for Chapter 3 and the first part of the Endor arc. Leia and Luke infiltrate the area to deactivate some kind of something, I don't know. Probably the least fun level involving both vehicles and on-the-ground gameplay, but in the end, I got true Jedi, like usual, and 6 mini-kits. Next, in Chapter 4, I team up with the Ewoks to bring down Endor's shield generator protecting the new Death Star. Another long and convoluted level in my opinion, but what can you do, man? You already know I got true Jedi and some mini-kits. Moving on. Now it is time. Luke and Vader versus the Emperor Palpatine. It can be a short fight, but the explorability of the level leaves a lot of room in the Freeplay section. Easily smoking the old dude that had it coming to him, Luke leaves with Vader's body, now redeemed as Anakin once more. As the rebel assault on the Death Star begins, Chapter 6 is all about Lando piloting the Falcon with some rebel troops behind and takes the explosive battle to the inner organs of the spacebound beast. We ignite their heart with a torpedo and complete the saga. I got Return of the Jedi as my next achievement, marking us down for 17 in total, leaving 25 more for me to get on my own time, and 46% of the game is done, as well as 76 gold bricks sit in the palm of our hand, nearly halfway there. Now this is where the fun begins. I spent about the next 2 hours of the day grinding Freeplay endlessly. It was really fun for the most part, especially as I unlocked more and more extras to power up my gameplay. The favorite thing that I didn't know previously is that stud multipliers do stack with each other, which is pretty insane. You know, by the end of it, I racked up to a 3,840x multiplier, meaning a single blue stud would add 3,840,000 to the stud counter. It was essential for endgame achievement hunting. The first thing I decided to do right after beating the game was to go into Episode 4's chamber and spam the hat randomizer for another easy achievement. This one is the hat one, called Follower of Fashion, for wearing every hat. I won't cover, every single free play level that I did. I would triple this video length, but I'll touch on some highlights, right? So I started with Episode 4, Chapter 5 to snag the Invincibility Red Brick and all its mini kits. That will save so much headache when it comes to speedrunning through these levels as fast as I can. And then I got the Stud X2 multiplier Red Brick from the very next chapter to begin the domino effect that is the stud multipliers. And I also got all of its mini kits, except this one that I was really struggling to find. This way. I fucking found you, you fuck. Fuck you. Rounding around to the start of episode 4 to clean it up, I got an achievement for dodging 200 total blaster shots on the save file. You know what they say, if you can dodge a blaster from Lego Star Wars, you can dodge a dodgeball. I spent like way too long getting this really finicky mini kit with the car and this lift. I'll make you go, ah.
My car. Where's the mini kit? What the fuck is this?
But that did finish up the day because I was pushing a 5-hour stream, but with only 3 of the 36 chapters fully collected and 79 of the gold bricks on the clock, I had a lot of grinding left to do. The next day, I immediately loaded up the next chapter and got back to sharpening the sword on the grindstone. After collecting everything in episode 4's chapters 2 and 3 and then starting 4, I realized Jar Jar was my partner, so I smoked him Lego style 20 times in a row. That unlocked Crowd Pleaser. After fully collecting everything in episode 4, I went backwards in time to episode 3. We finished chapters 2, 3, and 4 before I went after some really important red bricks that would speed up the collecting process. I went to episode 5, chapter 6 to get the mini kit detector, and then episode 1, chapter 4, this was a red brick that lets you find other red bricks. That fucking rat snitch, bro. Despite these rodent behaviors coming from the red bricks, it did make life significantly easier for nailing down those more arbitrary mini-kits that spawn after you just destroy some shit or something. It's not a perfect power-up as seen in many different levels, but country girls make do. So 12 total chapters now fully collected and getting my 87th gold brick, I'm feeling pretty confident so far. I returned to episode 3, chapter 5, I cleared it, and then I did chapter 6 pretty easily. But also, I must have got the Russian version of the game because 11 out of 10. With episode 3 rinsed of disgusting mini kits and red bricks, I took it back to episode 2, chapter 1 to get my 90th gold brick from that mini kit set. Chapter 2 is where I got my only other achievement for the day, which was found after opening a bounty hunter door and triggering a disco effect. That one's called Disco King. With this banging music, that makes the exact halfway point in number of achievements earned, still quite a ways away in the grind set though. I finished off the rest of that day cleaning up chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6 of episode 2 to make it 95 gold bricks stacked, 18 chapters squeaky clean of collectibles, and 58.8% of the game complete, and 16 hours spent on my hustler shit. I went night-night. So it's rise and shine gamers because it's time. Episode 1 was up next, clearing chapter 1, 2, 3, and skipping 4 because I already did it, and 5 and 6, I made it my duty to play as Qui-Gon Jinn for another achievement. Defeating Darth Maul at all while using Qui-Gon gave me Who Needs Obi-Wan as one of those character-dependent achievements that you can get in the game. Getting all the mini-kits so far have landed me at 4 episodes done and 100 gold bricks exactly. I found myself looking for where more fun can begin, so I tried out some bonus levels in episode 1 too. All you have to do is get 1 million studs by blowing stuff up and using the power-up abilities as fast as you can. They disable some of the more overpowered red bricks for this, so no cheesing, you gotta be legit. These levels added 2 more gold bricks to the pile, and I did episode 2 bonus levels as well since it was only next door for 2 more gold bricks. How fun is that? And then I dipped my toe into the blue mini kit grind by testing my wits on chapter 1 of episode 1, and that made me realize it won't be the worst thing ever, but definitely annoying to play every level over again. But I immediately went back to regular mini kit grinds in episode 5, one of the 2 episodes I have to collect everything in. I grinded chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, but this one is where I got the multiplier X4, and that's where I learned where those power bricks stack for exponential stud gains.
Wait, I can have 4 and 2 on at the same time? Nah, bro, that's broken.
Skipped 2 and grinded chapter 5 that also had the score X6 red brick. Skipped way ahead even more and got the 8x multiplier, and that was in chapter 3 episode 6. I wanted to maximize my stud gains to the fullest. I played chapter 6 episode 1 specifically to grind all the studs I possibly could to buy all multiplier red bricks costs so I could reach the fabled 3,840 multiplier. I was getting very sleepy and ready for night-night one more time, but the insane amount of studs I was able to accumulate allowed me to buy every single character in the game so that I wasn't leaving the day with barely any achievements. But then my crucial mistake was forgetting that Indiana Jones exists in the game, so I went through a bonus store. I watched the trailer for that LEGO game, and I went back and I bought them. They gave me Collector, and then with those 23 achievements got, I slumber. And the very next day, I jumped back on board with episode 5, chapter 4, one of the ones I skipped before and the only one left for this episode. So finishing that episode left us with only 50 more gold bricks to collect at 110. On to episode 6, I have 5 more chapters since I did chapter 3 earlier. I grinded chapter 1 and 2 in about 40 minutes because chapter 1 got me stuck, and then I was reminded of the fact that I have to buy the gold bricks at the cantina, so that jumped us up to 123. Huge. So now we're back to chapter 4 of episode 6, and chapter 5 of episode 6, and finally, chapter 6. It added a little under an hour to my clock, but I finally did it, Reddit. I collected every mini kit for Mini Mayhem, and also every red brick for Secret Master. A 2-in-1 combo for 120 gamer score. Let's go, baby.
Mini Mayhem, Secret Master. I'm so good at the game.
So with the 126 gold bricks we collected, it was time to go to the bonus levels. You may remember the bonus level from episode 1 and 2 earlier, but these are different. In the same room you watched the Indiana Jones trailer, you can build these gold brick doorways, and they allow you to collect even more collectibles, ranging from being able to play 2 OG levels from the LEGO Star Wars video game. We also have the ability to play a cut level from episode 1, and a different version of episode 4 chapter 1 for no other reason than for fun and novelty purposes. And then the final 2 gold door levels feature generic LEGO Town and LEGO Town 2 Electric Boogaloo. For these 2 levels, you have to find all of the unique studs that add up to 1 million. LEGO Town 1, it took me like half an hour, which is insane because it had this really not obvious moment where you have to walk over flowers that aren't visible. But then LEGO Town 2 was much faster. I was even shooting hoops on the court. How will this affect LeBron's legacy? And each of these levels adds a gold brick, ending me out at 132 after beating them all. I then took the opportunity to tackle the bounty hunter levels that I discovered last time, since they were like right next door to the bonus levels. All that this entails is that you go through a selection of 20 levels with each mainline bounty hunter character on your squad, and you use them to find a bunch of the other characters that are relevant to the canon. My personal favorite bounty hunter is IG-88 for one specific reason.
Okay.
During one of my very last bounty hunts, I seized the opportunity to throw a thermal detonator at a huge group of LEGO characters. This rewarded me for cold-blooded serial killing with an achievement, Fire in the Hole. Doing all the bounty levels left me with only 8 gold bricks to clean up around the cantina. All they are is the 2 remaining bonus levels for each of the 4 episodes that I have left. This should be pretty easy. So starting with episode 3, I got 2 more gold bricks from the stuff on Mustafar and Kashyyyk. Episode 4 was 2 more from Mos Eisley on Tatooine and the surface of the Death Star. Episode 5 had 1 on Cloud City and another on Hoth. So I actually had noticed Greedo was still my partner, either from random chance or from the bounty hunt levels, but that allowed me to load up Endor on episode 6 and smoke him as Han Solo. It gave me shoot first as an achievement. Our last minikit bonus level exists in the forests of Endor. Spamming the X button on my 360 emulation, I rounded out 1 million studs in just under a minute 30. And that gave me a long sought after achievement for acquiring 160 gold bricks across the course of the save file. Going for gold is a huge achievement at this point in the game. I had a short-lived celebration because of how much more that actually needed to be done, but I could add 1 more to the list pretty quickly. With my massive 3,840 stud multiplier, I was able to take my 160 gold bricks to the spaceport outside of the cantina and create the stud 3D printer that prints an insane amount of studs every couple seconds. While I did manage to grind up to 2.5 billion studs from all of these levels, the 3D printer was able to push it over the edge and max out the counter. But in order to entertain the audience while I waited, I busted out the Indiana Jones GAT on 50 characters in the cantina, and that gives you a barroom brawl achievement and a tactical nuke for the kill streak. So I kept waiting for more studs, and then I finally got that 4 billion count. That gave me the achievement Gopher, our 30th one. Only 12 more remain. And for the most part, all of it's really easy cleanup for niche stuff, so let's get it. I started by leading off with our blue minikit grind. This is only second to Super Stories as far as being annoying and boring to do. The only tip I have is to make sure to bring a ghost character along the way because of their immunity to all damage and all enemies ignoring them. I did all of episode 1 in a little under an hour. I then did all of episode 2 in a little over 30 minutes. Episode 3 pushed it by being 40 minutes long for blues. Episode 4 was only slightly under an hour or 2, and I also got an achievement. I had to finish episode 4, chapter 6, with only using torpedoes until the very end of the level. That was pretty easy, but I took an L doing this because I missed a single blue minikit, but gamer score is far more important than my time. Episode 5 was another hour gone by, and then finally, Episode 6, Blue Mini Kits, took almost an hour and a half because I got stumped a few times on the ending levels, and I'll also mention that right in the middle of the end, my entire internet cut out because they were just doing maintenance in my neighborhood, which was really unfortunate timing. But after trying to troubleshoot for a while, I gave up and I just finished it offline. Doing all of that left me grumpy because I couldn't fix my internet, but also right at 97.8% of the way through with the game. I'm also at 28 hours of in-game time. We are so close, yet so far. All that's really left is the super stories. One thing I noticed in my few skimming moments of the achievements is that I'm going to have to get an online partner somehow. Someone who's bold, someone who is cool, and also someone who's really good at art that also made my profile picture for YouTube. I wonder who that could be. But we'll get into that later because it took a long time to get that set up. So I had 11 achievements left, 2.2% of the game to beat. And while I waited for my online friend to stop raising a baby and to help me with more important tasks, the first achievement I went after was one for episode 5, chapter 5. This is where I had to wear a stormtrooper helmet in the level, and then literally just end the level, return to the cantina. Yeah, it's that simple. I'm assuming it was an oversight, but free gamer score for me. Then I went for a bunch where I had to break X character with X character. Fairly simple. First was Strike Me Down, and then Undecided, and then Unfaithful, and then Did I Break Your Concentration, and then Nobody Expects, and then Love Is, and finally Hands Off. That leaves us at a total of 39 achievements. We're so close I can taste it, or maybe that's just my aspirin pills. The next two trophies are co-op related, one of which is totally perfect. So this achievement required me to plug in a second controller and play the arcade mode after changing some rules to make it an unlimited score. The goal is to score 100 points. I don't know if that's meant to be in one sitting or across the save file, but thanks to my really old Xbox One controllers having the worst stick drift known to humankind, all I had to do was sit back and relax as my controller did all the work for me. It might have taken me 7.5 minutes to get there, but I got 100 and I got Arcade Master as a reward. I unplugged my Kaka-Duty second controller, and then I assumed it would be smart to start some super stories while I waited for my homie to show up and play video games. I decided to start the super stories backwards with episode 6, and I also sent my DM to the secret guest I had in mind, and I waited. I got through episode 6 in 1 minute over 1 hour. I got through episode 5 in 52 minutes, but still no response from the homie yet, so I paused my game and I took a cat nap. I woke back up and I got through episode 4 in another 52 minutes, and even fully completing episode 3 in Super Story 2 with an additional 30 minutes on the clock. Then finally, after sitting on 99.3% completion, I finally get a hit back. Everyone say hello to Kobe.
Hello.
How do we do this?
Also known as Kobera on these platforms. Go buy her art and her stickers because she got a baby to feed, and also her and her fiance got video games to buy, brother, come on. We went and did the quickest level versus General Grievous to get our 41st achievement, online player.
There we go.
Hey, we
I
did
got
it.
an achievement.
That shit really done soft locked our games too, which is crazy. Crazy. I was crazy once. She was also super kind enough to run through the 2 remaining super stories with me on episode 2 and episode 1. So here's a quick cut of that bullshit.
All right. Get the hell out of my...
Django Fett.
God damn, his eyes are far apart.
The fluoride stare.
Yeah. And now there's one more.
I'm dead. I'm stuck. I'm stuck forever. Shoot these things that I'm next to. Oh, are
my
you
God,
stuck too?
no, I'm stuck. Uncle Darth Maul. He's got those uncle vibes, you know?
Yeah.
He had the grimace shake.
100%.
Hmm.
Where's the achievement though? So despite slaying Darth Maul at the completion of episode 1 after episode 2, and Kobe being kind enough to help me through it, the final achievement didn't quite pop yet. I did some Googling without finding any kind of definitive answer, but the first solution I ended up trying was just playing one more level to see what happens, and I've got some news for you guys. You might not like it. but you probably will because we got 100% complete for our final achievement in LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. What an absolute insane ride that was. Hello there, General Moonsout here again. Thank you so much for making it this far in a super long ass video breaking down achievements on a fucking LEGO Star Wars game, bro. I appreciate you all so much. If you haven't by now, you can provide additional support by liking the video. It seriously helps. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what games you want to see next, or you can talk about your favorite LEGO Star Wars memory. If you don't know what to say, you can say, "That's my Lego." Spell it like this. That also all helps me. Subscribing to the channel for more challenges, completions, and just general video game shenanigans is absolutely welcomed and appreciated. If you do want to send the extra above and beyond mile of support since you've lost your bricks, you can drop me $1 a month on Patreon where, once I hit 10 patrons, we can start doing ad-free videos for my stuff, but right now, we're only doing names at the end like this. You already know, you've seen them many places before. So it's kind of just a little tip jar right now until 10. That being said, I've got some links in the description to keep up with me in the community, from Twitter to Discord to even a second channel that I'll be uploading to again here soon. It's a good time to spend here on the Moonsout channel. That should be everything I have to say now. See you all in the next one.